Get a banner up.
What up, what up, what up? Sports fans all over the world. It is your boy, Mac the Giants fan, here with my guys, the Horsemen, Adam Costas, Zion Zenith. This is the Premium Takes Podcast. Let's go.
Back at it again. The trio has united again for another episode, another great Friday night, joined to talk about one of the greatest dynasties that ever walked the earth, the New York Giants. I know, guys, it has been a rough time at times, but we're getting it together, and hopefully the New York Giants will prevail once again. But in today's special, we're just basically going to be talking about and recapping and reviewing the Giants Hard Knocks offseason. There has been 3 episodes released so far, and we're gonna get into it on this episode. Now, I know it's been a while since you guys have seen us, since you guys have watched us, but we're back, and make sure you guys tune in going forward because we have a lot of great episodes ahead of us. We got the Olympics coming up. We got USA basketball, of course. Tournament to the Olympics, just kind of like scrimmages. We got a lot of stuff to talk about, and soon to be on the horizon. 6 weeks away is football season, and we got NCAA season, and just a lot of things to catch up on. We still have to review our Eminem top 5 songs. The Death of Slim Shady just dropped, critically acclaimed, one of his better albums, and I'm actually enjoying it. But that is for future episodes. We got a lot of great movies releasing that we want to get on, but that is for future episodes as well. On this special edition of Premium Takes, being that this is the first time the trio has been together in the last 3 weeks, we are going to dedicate this episode to strictly our team, the New York Football Giants. And like I said, I know times has been rough right now, but hopefully we have greener pastures ahead. That being said, you may not agree with what we say. You may think that we're downers. You may think that, man, why do they hate their team so much? Let me just explain this. If you're not a fan, you're going to know that we love the New York Giants, but we are just realistic when we go to talking about them. We may not live in a land where we're hoping that this team can make the playoffs and make the Super Bowl. Will we want that to happen? Absolutely. But what you get here on Premium Takes, you get real opinions from real fans and diehard fans that's lifelong fans. So with that being said, I know a lifelong fan right next to me, Mac, that has a little nugget he wants to open the show with. So that being said, I'm gonna pass him the mic and he's gonna open with that nugget. But like I said, this episode is being dedicated to your New York Football Giants, Hard Knock episodes, and then NFL in general. Go right ahead, Mac.
All right, thank you much. But first off, yeah, like the Hard Knocks has been thorough. It's been so far, first 3 episodes in the books. First two is mostly about the Saquon Barkley situation. That's all, here and there, that's done. Over with. We got to see how that unfolded. But episode three, then came episode three, and it was pretty cool and showing like some of the, the dealings about acquiring Brian Burns and some of the other free agents that came aboard this off season. But there's one little thing, and people have been talking about a lot of all those different things on the show. But there's one little seed that people seem to keep kind of glossing over and forgetting about. There was a point where Joe Shane walks into the room, and I mean he's in there. I mean Coach Dabo's in there, a bunch of everybody, other scouts, everybody's in there. Joe Shane right to the room said, I mean to everybody. All right, so guys, have we seen enough on Jaden Daniels that you think that he's worth trading up for? Brian Dable, without fucking hesitation, said, "Oh, I would." Didn't even have to think about it. Didn't even have to think about it. What does that tell you that how you think Brian Dable truly feels about his quarterback situation on this football team? He didn't even need a second to think. As soon as Joe Shane asked that, put that question on the floor on the table, Brian Dable said, I would. I said, yes, I would. Yes, indeed. But nobody seems to want to come out of here. Like some of the, a lot of this, how this fan base has become so divided. People don't seem to want to, nobody seems to want to talk about that. Everybody
Well,
seemed to kind of forget that little clip happened where like this guy's job security is right now is kind of teetering on this on with Daniel Jones. Like literally, this dude's job. It could be the difference between this guy being on the unemployment line is Daniel Jones. He in a heartbeat. Clearly, we know which way Brian Dable wanted to go, and that told me which direction he wanted to go in this draft. And it was something telling to me, and I'm just curious how like people don't seem to want to be talking about that. Don't want to understand that like the head coach clearly knows there's an issue with the quarterback situation on his football team. That's what that told me. I mean, he didn't even think about it. As soon as he asked that question, Dabo was just like, "Yeah, I would." Nobody else ain't really say shit, but Dabo was like, "Yeah, I would."
If we were to trade up for
I love
Jaden
that.
Daniels, would
I
you
love
do
that.
it? Yes.
Real
Well,
fast, Adam. Before you go, I just want to touch on this, and I'm gonna let Adam roast because this is just set up perfectly for Adam to respond. And let me tell you guys, this was not planned at all. I didn't even know what Mac had to say. Mac just came on the show. He met earlier, and he's all like, "Hey, I have a nugget I want to be giving at the show." But this is so aligned, and I'm gonna let Adam get on it because Adam is gonna drop some fire on you guys. But what I will say is, I will say this real fast. It's almost surprising me that it's not even surprising to me that a quarterback guru in what we brought him in here to do would jump on him so fast. Like I said, this wasn't planned, and I'm gonna respond real fast, and I'm gonna let Adam get his fire in. What's up, Daniel? Thank you so much for joining us.
What's up, Daniel?
In a matter of who's the receivers that Patrick Mahomes had in the Super Bowl this year, guys? Anybody? Besides the tight end, I didn't say
Rasheed
tight end.
Rice, Richie James,
Rookie receiver,
Skylar
right?
Moore.
Exactly. Not many household names yet, correct?
Yes, McCall
But
Hardman.
for the time being of us
not
trying to
household
get a
name,
quarterback in here, it was the receivers make the quarterback. The quarterback doesn't make the receivers. That's a quarterback guru talking. Hey, yes, we need a fucking quarterback because if a quarterback is in here, then the receivers, the quarterback will make them. Word on the street is Brian Ayuk is looking for a trade. Didn't we get done talking about that? Just saying. There's receivers, there's always going to be fucking receivers. When it talks about quarterbacks, it's really special to hit on the top 15 in the NFL, a top 10 quarterback. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to let that wonder, and I'm going to let Adam respond to that.
Well, Mac, I knew what you were saying because I heard that too, and I didn't forget it. And the funniest part is,
believe me, Adam,
is like,
Mac, that went over a lot of people's heads.
But here's the thing that gets me, right. The whole show, the first show he comes out and he's like, Daniel Jones, he's our guy. That's our plan. Then he goes, well, I don't know. It's year 6. We're going to have to see if he's the guy. I'm like, well, why'd you pay the guy if you have to see if he's the guy in year 6? Then they're doing all this quarterback jockeying. They said they wanted to bring back Tyrod Taylor. They did not. Like, so they couldn't match the offer because guess what? Their quarterback, who's an albatross, is taking up a huge percentage of the cap and is injury prone, right? So the things that they're doing in this are so stupid. The fact that Brian Dable didn't hesitate is just kind of funny. It just, to me, is like, why? That's, again, to me, people tell me, well, you couldn't just draft a quarterback. Listen to what Zion just said. He said the words QB guru or QB, whisperer, whatever you want to call it, right? So to me, the reason why people got mad at me, they're like, oh, Adam, we can't just pick quarterbacks. No, you pick a guy, you put him in the pipeline that Dable gets a little excited about. Says, oh, I can work with this kid. Oh, I think he's got some great traits, right? So then you don't have to worry about him worrying about Daniel and hinging his job upon it, right? Now we have nobody in the pipeline. You have a guy that the coach clearly doesn't really respect, which to me is interesting because Daniel Jones doesn't live under a rock, bro. Like, this is in social media. He's going to know about this. This is why I tell people, okay? It's like going out on a date or going out and flirting with somebody and finally going to ask them out, them rejecting you, and you running back to your wife saying, hey, it didn't work out over there, but I still love you, honey. Let's keep this going, right? Like that type of shit where you're kind of searching, but you're not. But if someone were to say yes, you would jump, but you're not going to jump. Like if the Commanders were going to trade Jaden Daniels, they would have taken Jaden Daniels, not thought twice about Daniel. So to me, and I'll be honest, I was on a space the other day, and I ranted on, like, if Daniel Jones was the plan, why are you wasting all this resources on a quarterback? And in the episode 3, when Brian Dable says yes, I say, okay, I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to get rid of him, but they're trying to make it like the top 3 guys. And I'm looking at like, you should just bring in a guy because we haven't drafted anybody since 2019. So why not bring somebody into the pipeline? You had Spencer Rattler, you had Michael Pratt. You could have brought those guys in and just kind of see what they
You
did.
had Sam Hortman in the 6th round.
My point is, you have Joe Milton, right? Like, I'm not saying like you have to bring in a guy, but I want to see what this guy can do with a talented guy. And Mac is right. I think there's a lot of dissension amongst the ranks. I think Daniel Jones is being in a position that I think he's going to, I hate to say it, they're trying to make him fail. And people are saying, well, why? Well, you get rid of Saquon Barkley, who the owner, by the way, is a meddler, okay? People told me that he wasn't. He clearly drops his influence every once in a while. I'm going to lose sleep if Saquon Barkley doesn't get signed. Remember, they were a package deal in 2022. The whole point of signing Daniel was to sign Barkley because they were a package deal. Now you're breaking up the package. I'm telling you right now, if they're going to try to move on from Daniel, this is the season that's going to set it up. Okay, they already told you no expectations, don't expect anything, even though their moves indicate otherwise. But another thing that annoys me about this thing, not to mention the quarterback, is they all drafted for need, right? The only luxury pick they had in the NFL draft was Malik Neighbors. They didn't necessarily need to draft that receiver. They had Darius Slayton, who they signed. They had Jalen Hyatt, who they put money in. Wando Robinson. They had the kid they signed, Bryce Ford Wheaton. They got a couple other players that they were interested in. So it's not like they had bereft of talent in that wide receiver room, right? So to me, Malik Neighbors luxury pick. Well, guess what? In the second round, what'd they draft? The safety. Who'd they lose? McKinney. In the third round, they drafted a corner. Who'd they lose? Adoree Jackson. In the fourth round, they drafted tight end. Who'd they lose? Darren Waller. Do you see what I'm saying here? The Giants aren't drafting BPA. They're drafting for need and the highest value player there is. Great teams get better because they draft BPA regardless of the position that is being drafted. So if they go there and the best player available is a defensive lineman, you take the defensive lineman. You don't just go, well, I need a corner, so I'm going to take the best tight end available. Because that's what it seemed like they did, right? And then in the fifth round, they did a running back. Guess who left? Saquon Barkley. I'm saying so they needed some running back depth there. The linebacking core. The only thing about the linebacking core is they didn't. That was another.
Let's get into that. I'm gonna save you, Adam, because I know you get fired up, and I love the passion, and I'm gonna come back to you. Let's talk about that, okay? I see a GM in Joe Shane that is basically, and this is me just being 100%, guys. Obviously, the guy is an established scout. He is established business-wise in the NFL. He has connections. He vacations, like we all seen in the episode. I'm not telling you guys something that's not out there, that's not in the episodes, that's not out there in on media, on the internet. He literally vacations with the manager that just got the job in North Carolina. So that was an easy finesse on Burns. Okay, but this is my problem with him. I kind of almost worship this guy in the offseason saying, oh, man, this guy's a demon, man. Look what he's doing this. Look what he's doing there. And then I really came to really look at this episode and really watch behind the scenes.
Cool.
And it was almost like I'm saying, this guy's established business-wise. He has connections, and I'm not trying to knock him to just knock him. What I'm trying to say is I got a guy in his going into his third year, a bit too comfortable for what? Won the playoff wins. This franchise, like I said, we all diehard fans here, and we're just speaking nothing but the truth. This franchise has survived off of playoff appearance and off of Super Bowls. You come into the building a little bit too comfortable with one playoff win, where he's almost sitting down as he runs the building already. And you guys are, I believe, besides the interviews that they do before the scene, but I believe in the first scene, it was almost as, so you guys are really up to give Saquon or Barkley an offer. It's almost like he's not out there trying to get the player. Now, everybody may come at me. Well, Zion, he tried again.
No, hold on. Look,
Barkley denied, and Barkley denied. But
he had to call the owner for Saquon Barkley. My point is, I agree with you. I think he's a buffoon, to be honest with you. I don't think, did you see the scene? Mac knows what I'm talking about.
we're gonna get to all those little scenes later, but let's just cut it down to this scene right here, Adam, and I'll let you begin. It's almost as yeah, we gave him an offer in the past, so right now we're not even gonna give him an offer. So you guys really interested to sign in? And then Brandon Brown is all like, yeah, or what the fuck are you talking about? Like, he is a generational player. He's not just a running back that turned 27. He's also status. Let's look at the choice. Let's look at the stats. Let's look at the data. No, motherfucker, there is players that define the data.
I agree with you there.
It was when LT was playing, the greatest player of all fucking time. Let me not maybe offend people. The greatest defensive player of all time. You think if data was around? No, it's L fucking T. We're keeping LT. Enough said. End of story. Do not even make the attempt. No matter how much.
Was the production. The data was the production.
Exactly. So to almost kind of come and belittle Barkley and being like, you could kind of tell, like, I'm not going to go, but from previous episodes, I'm not going to go through that drama again. That took 10 years off my life. But for a generational player, the identity of this offense, to not even go and attempt to even offer him, and then he's like, are you going to call us back? And then he's all like, I told you where I want to be. No, why the fuck you think he signed with the Ops? I would sign with the fucking Ops too.
Well, look.
Go ahead, Adam.
But what it came down to ultimately though was Joe Shane. He just, you know what I mean, he rolled the dice and he crapped the fuck out. I mean, that's just straight up what the fuck he did. He said, go out there and see what you got and see what your market is, because he pretty much felt kind of cocky, thinking, oh, there's no way nobody's gonna offer you what you're asking for. Come on, man. He's fucking Saquon Barkley. Of course, somebody is going to offer him what he's asking for. I mean, somebody. Maybe not be a whole bunch of people lined up to throw that money at him. But come on.
But this is what makes me laugh, right? Because this same logic that he has about data and analytics and being injured and dropping off a cliff and all that bullshit. I said this to somebody the other day. I think it was Lou who called me. I said, he did all that data, but we're talking about Saquon Barkley, the special player. He always talks about and references the 49ers model, right? That's the new model of how to get a quarterback and all that shit. Well, guess what? You know who they signed in the backfield who makes the fucking shit go? Christian McCaffrey, okay? And they just re-extended him. Why? Because he's a running back, and he's a fucking dynamic player and a weapon on their offense. Do you see John Lynch going, well, he's going to fall off at 27, so no, and then go out and sign a 27-year-old running back? Like, what are you doing? Like, this is just dumb. And then he comes in, right? Like, have some professionalism. You walk in and you have a backwards hat on and a hoodie and a jumpsuit, and I'm like, what? This is my GM right now. What are you doing, bro? What are we trying? What are you? You're in the New York Giants locker room, and this is how you try. I'm like, yo, John Mara, man, you must be tripping, because I know John Mara would not be letting us. I know that I could not go to Giant Stadium without my Giant production shirt on, or whatever the case may be that had a. But this guy's walking in as if he just came out.
Fucking, I'm not even gonna diss his swag. I wasn't gonna diss his swag, but you brought it up. Like motherfucker walking in with a outdated Hurley's hat from the year 2005 and shit.
I'm not
what is going on?
I'm not going to nitpick that.
What is going on here?
I think it's funny. The guys try to be Mr. Cool, and it's like you're not even listening to your constituents. Brandon Brown's like, "Who should sign Saquon Barkley?" And you're like, "Bro, Daniel, you got to protect Daniel Jones, trade neck injuries." And then he goes, Saquon Barkley is a great player. Oh, the data says he sucked. The data says he sucked. But he's like one of the best players. Oh, no. I know more. I got the data. But Daniel, we got to protect. Like, that's what I'm saying. That's what we're doing. I told somebody the other day, I said, I feel like we're building this team for Daniel Jones and not building this team to be a contender. I feel that's what we're doing. We're trying to build a team for the quarterback that we know is not the future, just so we can make it look like it wasn't a bad investment on our part. That's how I feel they're building this team. I don't see any longevity. Like, when you're picking Malik Neighbors, you're trying to win. Like, if you listen to that clip also, right, Mac, there's a preview of it. They say, if we can't get a quarterback here, we're going to take a weapon for Daniel, right? So, to me, they were trying to trade up and get whatever quarterback that they wanted. But then I want to know what happened between the other three quarterbacks who, by the way, were picked in the first round. So it's not like we're talking about far down the draft board. These guys are picked within the same range as the Giants. So what makes it easier for the Atlanta Falcons to pick Michael Penix Jr. and not for the Giants, right? And then Mr. Joe Shane is supposed to be this cap guru and this trader, right? That's why I had faith in him taking a quarterback and then trading back up in to the second round or the bottom of the first to get an Xavier Leggett or Xavier Woods or something like that, or
A
Xavier.
lot of starts this year at the wide receiver position. A
So
lot
my
of starts every year at the wide receiver position.
right, I mean they got Ricky Parasol in I think the second round for the Rams. And I was like, oh, okay, I could be off. It could have been the first round, but I think it was for second round or late first. But I'm just saying, you could have brought in a guy like that and still got your quarterback. But now instead of that, you've got a receiver here who we've clearly, like Mac indicated, shows they don't like the quarterback. So now we have to sit here, and this is why I'm not excited about this team. I said it a few weeks ago. I'll say it again.
Alex in the building. What's up, Big Blue in the Bronx? Thank you so much for joining me.
driving past
I know it's been a while since we all been back, but thank you so much, Alex. Let's get it.
What's up,
Continue,
Alex?
Matt.
I was
Continue.
driving to a friend's house this weekend, and it was driving past Giant Stadium. And I'm sitting there and I'm driving, and this is how out of it I was. I know where I am in the state, North Jersey. I know where I was. And I'm looking around, and I'm like, oh, look, there's a stadium over there. Oh, I get closer. It's MetLife. I'm like, oh, it's MetLife Stadium. Oh, okay. Like, I didn't get any fire. I didn't get like, oh, yeah, the Giant Stadium. Like, normally, if people know me, I go to Giant Stadium. I'm pointing at that stadium. I'm like giving a fist bump. Here I'm driving as a tourist. Like, oh, okay, there's a stadium in here. Like, that's nice. Like,
It's almost a block filling, and I'm gonna get back to you, Adam. And I do love that. Reason why I love that is because it's funny how, and like I said at the beginning of the show, guys, we're not here to just basically roast the Giants all episode long, but it's just us being honest. Like, these are three diehard Giants fans that really want this team to succeed and want this team to build the teams that we all grew up watching. I know we're all from different generations, but at the end of the day, this team has been a five-star organization that won in all of our generations, and apparently for the last 14 years, it kind of feels like, really basically 12, hasn't won anything. You know what I'm saying? And it's almost sad because a lot of people, they just are so root diehards no matter what, that they're just gonna kind of almost get brainwashed by the system of the banner. I'm a fan of the league before I'm a fan of the team, and when I'm a fan of the league, that means I watch all 32. When I watch all 32, I see all other 32 improve. When I see all other 31 improve, because I'm a fan of the 32nd team, if you want to count that as the Giants. When I see all 31 improve, and then I look at the Giants, and I'm like, okay, congratulations, we got Malik Neighbors, and I love that, and I want to see this team succeed. I know Adam's fighting because he wants to get in on this, but I'll say this. Guess what, guys? Other teams don't have to worry about the one game now. And I love Singletary on some screens and maybe on some nice third down pickups, but he ain't Barkley. Okay, this running back by commission ain't Barkley. Well, one offensive lineman away from getting hurt. That will basically in the same fucking position. We have no depth on the quarterback position, and I'm not trying to knock Drew Lock, but it's really not there. So all you need to really do to stop us is basically double Malik Neighbors, which they will do, because yes, believe everybody has access to the tape. It's no fucking secret that they're not gonna put a safety over the top on Malik Neighbors or some other fucking route. And at the end of the day, like let the other motherfuckers win. Okay, so Malik Neighbors is gonna get his, but at the end of the day, when you have no fucking running back guys, all they have to worry about is receivers, and then everybody wants to talk about our defense and how fucking special it is. Okay, it's not the San Francisco 49ers defense, it's not the Detroit Lions defense, it's not the Pittsburgh Steelers defense. It's dink and dunk. They're gonna dink and dunk on us and move the ball on us. So no matter if if it takes 5 minutes to score a touchdown, guess what? Other teams will score a touchdown. Yes, amazing rushes. We have fucking amazing rushes. Correct. We have Banks. Hey, he's a dog. We have Nubin. Shit, he might be a dog, but let's get fucking realistic here. We play playoff contenders. Let's get realistic here. Let me bust your bubble before the Giants bust your bubble. There's teams like the Bears. There's teams like the Saints. There's teams like the Buccaneers that improved. And to think we're just magically going to float into the fucking playoffs? Look at our fucking schedule. I just explained and I just exposed how teams are going to beat us. And I don't get paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to do this. I work at a fucking mobile place that sells fucking cell phones. And our GM is sitting up there laughing at our fucking owner. At first, I came on here and I'm like, shit. Moa is Biden 2.0. But no, it's really like, How are you gonna disrespect? Like, I get it. We all disrespect Myra, but this guy is from a legacy, a family, a prestigious family in the NFL. Okay, and now you're gonna sit up there and laugh and say, "Oh, we're gonna be okay." Yeah, Myra will be okay. He has the money. Your ass will be fucking fired because there's Mike Verbal waiting for an opportunity. There's someone like Bill Belichick waiting for a fucking opportunity. And I'm gonna stop right there. I'm gonna get to Alex. I didn't even see that comment because I got heated real fast. But to say that it's all gonna be rainbows and fucking sunshines, look who the fuck we play. And we're one injury away from not having a fucking season. And what happens to all our receivers? They get fucking hurt. What happened to our quarterback? Hurt every fucking year. Still trying to recover. Like Drew Lock is gonna fucking win in November. Get the fuck out of here. Sorry, I got heated real fast. Continue.
I think the answer to the question that Alex was saying is the NFL is built that if you have a solid run game in the playoffs, you can go far. But what the problem that people are doing is they're devaluing the running back. And I have to say this to people. You want to devalue the running back, then take the running back out of the Hall of Fame. Because if you look at the running back position over the years that I've been watching, I've watched Barry Sanders play. I've seen Emmitt Smith play. I've seen Marshall Faulk play. I've seen, Terrell Davis. I've seen Jerome Bettis. The list goes on and on and on about the great backs of our era. And there's some great backs that are out there now. And we treat the running back position, or at least in football now, they're trying to treat the running back position as if it's a old man washed up position. And there are some great ones right now out there. Jonathan Taylor got paid. You think the Colts are mad they paid him? Look at Josh Jacobs, what he did for the Las Vegas Raiders. Okay. He was the league's rusher. Him and Devontae Adams, they still had a losing season, so it goes to show you that it really doesn't matter. You need a quarterback because if you watch the receivers documentary on Netflix, he has Jimmy Garoppolo, and Devontae Adams clearly knows that.
Absolutely beautiful documentary, by the way. Y'all should watch it. I binged it all episodes. It's really great.
Devontae Adams is clearly frustrated with who's throwing him the football, and you can tell when Aiden O'Connell comes in that there's a difference about him getting in the football. Now, Aiden O'Connell doesn't look that good. I'm not saying he's going to be the next up and coming, but what I'm trying to say is that what these teams are looking for is a quarterback and an identity, and you don't have that. And sometimes a running back can help you. If you look at Ezekiel Elliott, what he did for Dak Prescott's first few years, the Cowboys don't win playoff games or get to the playoffs without Ezekiel Elliott running like a madman the first 3 years into his career, right? So I just want to say this when we talk about running backs. What Hard Knocks shows me is that Joe Shane's a bit of a moron in what he's doing. He just looks like a guy that is more happy to be in the job than actually knowing what he's doing, right? Like Brandon Brown to me should be the GM because that guy is like, nope, yep, okay, has very measured thought process. He's not dilly-dallying back and forth. He doesn't seem like he's just some goofball trying to be there, right? And a lot of the things that are getting done by Kevin Abrams, are getting done by some of his constituents, right? So, there's going to come a time where the people, and I'm hoping Hard Knocks doesn't expose this, where people are going to start to think Joe Shane's a clown. Right. And then you're not going to get respected around the league. And the only trade you're going to make are with Dan Morgan because you're your friend. Right. Like, for example, everyone's talking about the trade up to New England. Like, he's trying to get New England to trade up. So you're going to trade up for New England. Right. But then when it comes to your pick, you don't even pick a quarterback. But yet you're telling me you want to replace Daniel. Like, what is the MO? Because if your plan was to be with Daniel Jones, like you said in episode 1 at the beginning of the offseason, saying we're just going to roll with Daniel, find out if he's the guy, then don't waste my time. Don't flirt with these guys. Don't ask your coaches who are going to trade up for him. The fact that you're asking your coaches and your coaches are not denying anything, right? You're Brian Dable, your head man on TV. Mac is right. This clip is going viral, and it's a teaser that's going into the next episode. Next episode might reveal what they think about Daniel Jones, and then it's going to make it even more alarming to say, well, why didn't you pick somebody? Because to me, I can't rely on signing. Don't you think, let me ask you this, don't you think it's cheaper to get a second or third round pick or even a fourth round pick signed as your backup than Drew Lock? Because to me, there's a bracket, there's a tiered bracket. The more free agency and time you have, the higher you're going to get paid. right? A rookie free agent or a 6th round pick, you don't have to pay him that much money to be on your roster and develop the guy. So that's another reason why I'm kind of intrigued with all this quarterback talk and not one. And here you are, you're like Max said, you're you are just your quarterback. Your guy doesn't even hesitate 1 second. And there's for a quarterback. And the one thing I want to that Mac mentioned that I think we need to bring up is there a disconnect between Dable and Shane? That's because to me, like Dable's walking up there sometimes not knowing what the fuck's going on. And how many sacks does he have? And this, that, and the other thing. And I'm like, and Shane's like, dude, he's awesome. I like, and I'm like, what is happening? Like, what is going on with this front office? Listen. Hard Knocks interesting, but to be honest, I'm a little concerned with this front office.
Most definitely, and I do want Matt to get on the mic too because it's been a while since he talked, and I'm sorry for interrupting you, Adam. I just want to say this too, like I don't want you guys to hear that frustration, to hear that rant, and not you guys because I know you guys know me, but I'm talking about for the fans that's listening to the show, maybe that the first time hearing us. I don't want to be that negative fan. I'm so passionate about this team, and I just want to know the plan. Like, what's the plan? Like, really, what's the plan? Because Joe Shane is sitting up here, and it's almost like he doesn't have a plan. And Adam was exactly right on what he said. And it's almost like his ego gets in the way. Like, you know what? Might have made a mistake on that $40 million contract, but I can't go get someone for $1.8 million. Like, just say Russell Wilson, a Super Bowl champion. I can't do that because if I do that, that's going to say that I'm wrong. And me and Adam talked about that. And I believe that Adam brought that point up like months ago. It's almost like him bringing in Russell Wilson for fucking twice as cheaper as Drew Lock is almost him admitting, like, let me just rephrase this. Drew Lock got signed over what, 4 million, 5 million for 1 year. Russell Wilson is costing the Steelers 1.8. It's almost that he didn't reach for Drew Lock because it would have put him in the media limelight that he was fucking wrong. Okay, and I'm not a hater. I'm just proving facts. And thank you so much for joining Tree Nation, my brother from another mother. Big Blue Crew in the house. Make sure you guys catch him and Wills, Leather to the Face, and Pat, Leather to the Face on Saturday nights. And this is just like it's almost not even wanting to attempt because in bed talk, Sierra was in Russell Wilson's ear, like, yo, New York, motherfucker, businesses, motherfucker, I am it, motherfucker, in New York, that is it. But to not even to attempt that because it would have put him in the wrong. You know what I'm saying? And as for G Nation, he's one of those believers. As you can see, I'm gonna put his comment up right now before I turn the mic over to Mac. 11-6, and I love that he's a passionate fan. But what I will say on that is, we haven't seen Daniel Jones operate a Giants team without Saquon Barkley. And when they stack and double coverage and triple coverage Malik, and when other receivers like a Slayton that has been known to drop balls at time, but still fighting for a contract pause, drop a few passes at times, you know what I'm saying? Maybe have that butterfingers at times, but still consistent at third times. Third down's not going to knock him that much, averaging at least 14 yards a game. It's going to have to rely on other receivers like Hyatt, other receivers like Robertson, which I truly believe that can go over the hump and excel at the next level. And Isaiah Hodgins as well. But at the end of the day, Barkley is missing. So guess what, wide receivers, especially, and it's sorry that the pressure, I apologize, Malik, wide receiver type shit, hashtag Justin Jefferson, Lamar Chase, OBJ, Javoris Landry, hashtag wide receiver type shit. I apologize that the pressure is all on you. But guess what? You are it. You are the reason that fans is going to be put in seats because fans are not going to become fans of this team because Daniel Jones. I have fans like Nate. I have fans like Logan. I have fans like Champ. I have the whole younger generation that was fans of this team because OBJ and maybe their parents and maybe when there was Warren, but OBJ put Giants fans in the seats. And that's them just trying to repeat the process with Malik Neighbors. I'm going to pass it over to Mac.
What's good? What's going on,
What's up,
AK?
check.
But now, yeah, let's go back. I'm gonna go back a little bit to when Alex was talking about fans talking about going back to their roots. I'm all good. I love the nostalgia. I'm Mac the Giants fan. I love the nostalgia. You know what I mean? I love
The
the old
pressure is
school. You
definitely
know
on
me.
DJ, but
Appreciate
I'm sorry,
everything,
man.
everything the old school New York Giant teams used to do and how they used to go about doing it. But this is 2024, man. It's just not the way the NFL game is anymore. It's just not. It's just not that cut and dry anymore. It's just a little more up tempo. It's a little more, you know, pass heavy, so to speak. I mean, this is what the rules are just literally set up for motherfuckers to air it the fuck out. And we need a guy. We need a guy with the cojones to do that, man. That's where it starts, man. We need that guy that got the confidence to step up and be able to command an offense and run that shit. And that's what we've been lacking this right now. That's what we're lacking right now. And I just can't understand. I mean, look, as much as I'm sitting here and I'm watching the hard knock stuff and everything, and it's like you're justifying letting Saquon Barkley walk away, and it's like you're trying to justify that with like Daniel Jones because you paid him $40 million. We didn't pay this guy $40 million to turn around and hand the ball off to a $12 million back. Yeah, in a sense, I do get that, but the reality is you fucked up when you paid that guy $40 million.
That's
I mean,
facts.
that's where you fucked up. That was the error. So, but here we are. I mean, this team is they
You know
just
how
got to figure it out, man. Like they
no,
just
no.
gotta they just gotta. What's up?
Let's look at what you just said. He just said he doesn't want Daniel Jones to give to a $12 million back. So you're telling him that you rather give him a shittier back to because he's a $40 million quarterback instead of giving him a star back where he could do better then, right? Like that's my mindset. Like he's literally saying I'd rather not give him a star back and put somebody else there that's not the caliber of Saquon Barkley just to fill the running back role. And to me, this is what I'm telling you about bad GMing. He's not wrong in saying I want to move on from Barkley for whatever reason, but to then devalue the position and then overpay for the position, and then your analytics are, oh, you don't want to go over 27-year-old running back, yet you paid Devin Singletary, who by the way is 27 years old, right? Where do you think he's going? If Barkley is going to fall off a cliff, Devin Singletary, who has done 1,000 yards in his career, you think he's not falling off a cliff? This is what I'm talking about in terms of
Question. He did have 1,000 yards from scrimmage, but we all get your point. Just trying to add some clarity. But continue.
no 1,000 yards rushing, bro. When you add
No,
scrimmage,
I'm not gonna fight you on that. I just want to add some clarity. Devin
like
Singletary had
okay,
1,000 yards
let
on
me
all
just say this
purpose for the last 3 years, but he ain't worked.
I love all-purpose yards and shit. It's great, right? That's like the cherry on top. Tiki Barber has 10,000 yards rushing. He has 5,000 yards receiving, and he has like 3,000 yards return. He has like 18,000 yards all-purpose. Okay, that should get him in the Hall of Fame alone. But his 10,000 yards rushing is an accomplishment. So what running backs do, they run. So that's what you base him and you judge your running backs on, right? I'm not judging him on his fucking all-purpose yards.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm just adding clarity. Don't jump on that. I
Well,
agree
look,
with you.
this whole, the more I think about this whole shit, that move, you know what it kind of
They
reminds me
brought
of a
him
few
into
years
screen
ago
game. It's all
when
screen game.
when
It's short passes for Daniel Jones
when we
to
had another
minimize.
another GM, Dave Gettleman, that motherfucker when and you know he signs Odell Beckham Jr., gives him the contract extension, and then he trades him, and then he replaces him with Golden, then pretty much replaces him with Golden Tate, and it's
Right.
like, yeah, Golden Tate, he's not a scrub. He's not a scrub. Devin Singletary, he's not a scrub. You know what I
That's
mean? But
but that's what I'm saying.
He's not the same
Adam.
guy.
Real fast, Adam. Yeah,
yeah,
definitely. Berkeley is fucking him. Berkeley's him, all right. And Singletary is not him. But what Singletary adds, and I want to pull up this comment real fast. 100%. The pressure is on DJ, and DJ will fill. And I'm just gonna be plain out blank. Period. DJ is gonna fill. That being said, he'll probably be hurt by mid-season. That being said, I'm not being cocky. I talked to this guy. G Nation is the homie. I'm just letting you guys know he will fail. That being said, they're depending so much on Malik Neighbors because now he is the star of the show. The best New York Giant is Dexter Lawrence by far, hands down. The second best New York Giant is Andrew Thomas. All right, but for the offense, for the flashy players, I'll talk to the boys. This is you. I'll love to, but let's see what the boys have to say. I'd love to get your input on it. But that being said,
I'll send it
the
to him.
pressure is on Malik Neighbors because he's the flashy guy that's going to put people in seats. Now, the reason why they bought in Singletary is because he was much cheaper than Barkley. They didn't want to pay Barkley, and he almost masked Daniel Jones because when Malik Neighbors is covered, when Hyde is covered, when Robertson is covered, when Slayton is covered, guess what? Singletary is going to be like this. Hi, I'm Singletary. Just waiting like that. Daniel Jones is going to throw in the ball, and we're going to gain 8 yards. We're going to gain 10 yards. Singletary is a dependable back, almost as in Adam is right. He ain't Barkley, but he had gotten 1,000 yards from scrimmage over the last 3 years, 800, 700, 600. Don't quote me. And then a couple of receiving yards. So that's what they basically bought in him. What they're leaning on Daniel to do is get it out to our young stud tight end that we just bought in the fourth. Get it out to Darren Waller if he's going to be a part of this team. Get it out to Malik Neighbors. Get it out to the receivers. Get the ball out of his hand faster and get the yak. That's what this team is going to try to strive on. Get the ball out of his hands fast and accumulate the yak. And that's what they're after. But let me tell you this. When they go after stud defenses, that shit ain't going to work. We're not going to move the ball that much. Go right ahead, Adam.
Mac brought up a great point with the Dave Gettleman comment about replacing
So are we going to get G Nation on the show, or are we going to just have him come on a later episode? Because I'll send them the link up to you guys. Not trying to put you guys on.
I send the link on Twitter.
Thank you guys. Go right ahead, Adam.
The thing is this. What Mac made a point about Dave Gettleman, I feel like Joe Shane is the younger version of Dave Gettleman. He can just talk to the media better and is not a stubborn old mule. Because if you look at that parallel that he did, he got rid of a good player and brought in a serviceable player from another team who was like you said, Golden Tate was a solid player. Wasn't necessarily a scrub, but he was doing stuff with Philadelphia and Detroit. You know, he had a little bit of flair where you signed him to an astronomical number that we shouldn't have done. And then he got popped for PEDs and shit. But he, that first year, if he doesn't get popped for PEDs, he's probably getting 800, 900 yards that season. So my point, but is he Odell Beckham Jr.? No, absolutely not. And so my point is, so what if he has $12 million running back? Now you have a $12 million running back and a top 6 receiver on your team. Now you're talking about a totally different game. Now you can start to think about being the 49ers on the East Coast, because you'll have your little Deebo Samuel in Wando Robinson. He can do those little gadget plays for you. You have your deep streaker in Brandon Ayuk, aka Malik Neighbors, a guy who can, take things over the top. And then you got your third receiver in Jalen Hyatt, who's just a burner, who can throw downfield, not to mention a tight end who can run the seams in Bellinger. Right? You have weapons.
That was open a lot last year, but we didn't see him open.
Well, yeah. I mean, the quarterback's a different point. But my point being is that Joe Shane, to me, is not enhancing Daniel Jones. Sure, he's enhancing the offensive line, which, I guess I would have went with Robert Hunt instead of Brian Burns, because that makes more sense to put $100,000 into the offensive line and whatever. But that's a story for another day. My point is that I feel like you getting rid of Barkley is not justifying anything outside of getting rid of weapon. And to me, you're downgrading weapon to go for Devin Singletary, who's not the caliber of player as Barkley. He's a solid player. He can do everything. He's a 3-tool back, right? He can block for blitz pickup. He can catch the ball in the backfield, and he's a solid runner. But if you're telling me right now, if I asked you, are Saquon Barkley or Devin Singletary, who are you taking? I'm just saying, who are you taking?
Why are you even asking that question?
That is my question that needs to be asked.
But that's my point when I'm talking about with Joe Shane. It's like, that's how you have to think about it. Is strategically, yes. Is Mara an idiot for like, oh yeah, he's the most popular player and thinking about popularity more than wins? I understand that. But if you're looking at it and you wanted Barkley at 12, whatever, you should have just gave him the number he wanted and said, fuck it, we're trying to run it back. We got something special going on here, because that's what people do. When they want to win, they keep the core together. And you don't even bother to keep a star. We're not talking, like, people talk about Saquon Barkley like he's some slouch. Okay? I'm not mad that Saquon Barkley left, and I don't always defend him, but I will defend him here. Okay? People need to understand this guy's a talent. He's arguably top 3, top 5 at his position. Okay, so to pay a guy who is top 5 at his position is okay. Than to overpay a guy who's not even top 5 at his position. Okay, Barkley doesn't need Daniel Jones to succeed. Daniel Jones needs Saquon Barkley to succeed. See what I'm doing there? Barkley is going to go
That's
to
facts.
a team.
That's facts.
Barkley is going to go to a team now where he doesn't have to be the guy, and he's going to go be the guy.
Best O-line he ever had in his career, by the way.
Because he doesn't have to do what they're asking him to do. In Philadelphia, they're going to say, listen, let Jalen and Devontae Smith and do whatever they need to do. You just run and find a hole and do it. With the Giants, you got to watch for Daniel. Make sure that he doesn't fucking do it. Coddle him. Do that. Do this.
You might have to adjust the play call for him.
Right?
You know what, Adam. I love it. I'm gonna let you finish, but I just said I'm gonna let you finish, and I was about to interrupt you, but I'm gonna let you finish. But I do wanna. I know I've been the most negative on the show so far, and I apologize for that. I do want to get into some upsides of this team. So, Adam, I'm gonna let you finish, and then we're gonna get into the upsides that we've seen on Hard Knocks. Go right ahead.
I mean, basically what I'm saying is if you're Joe Shane, you're trying to build a team and you want the best players at your position because you traded for Brian Burns, right? Why wouldn't you want to keep Barkley, who's one of the best at his position? You were using analytics and your thought of a running back to replace a running back that's arguably one of the best at his position, right? And there didn't show any signs of falling off last year, right? It wasn't like he was bad. He just, the offensive line sucked. He damn near won us the Green Bay game. He doesn't fumble. If he doesn't fumble that ball at the end of the game and give Green Bay a chance, the game is sealed. And what are we talking about? We're talking about, like, damn, man, Barkley's sealing the game, and we're going to let that guy walk. So all I'm saying is when you're building a team and you're going down the list of things and your constituents are saying, maybe you should keep Barkley, and you're like, I don't need to keep Barkley. I'm going to get more value here with a guy who has done far less than Barkley in his career. That sounds like stupid business to me.
Absolutely, that is totally stupid business. And
test the market. Go see if you can get. Go see
how much you can get, and then exactly, Matt. And then he goes to a team that damn near is trying to stop a 3-peat. I'm not going to say the Super Bowl. I'm not going to say Super Bowl contenders. Yeah, and then you go to a team that is going to try for a 3-peat. And I'm not going to say Super Bowl contenders because they're already Super Bowl contenders. But guess what? Adam Blakely is trying to stop a 3-peat in the Chiefs. Adam Blakely is saying, hey, our Eagles, I got hurt at the wrong time in 2023. We got hurt at the end of the season. Everybody wants to laugh at the opinion.
Look at the Eagles, though. Look at the Eagles. Look at them.
The Eagles got hurt at the end of the season, and the playoffs was washed. Now they add Blakely, and now they're trying to stop the Kansas City Chiefs from winning 3-peat. Everybody wants to talk about the Lions. Everybody wants to talk about the San Francisco 49ers. But let's not forget about the Philadelphia Eagles. And I get it, they're the ops. But at the end of the day, they just got the rip-in that could beat the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. I'm going to let that sit for a moment. Let's get into positive energy. Let's get into positive vibes.
I want to touch on that. Look at what the Eagles are doing. They didn't say to Jalen Hurts, oh, you know what? You know, they had Devontae Smith, who's pretty decent back, Devontae Swift, right? And they just said, you know, let's get rid of Swift for a better back, an upgrade at the position that's going to help his quarterback and team exponentially. But no, what does our GM do? Well, you know what? We have a $40 million quarterback. We don't need to worry about paying a good running back. Who needs a good running back when we can get an okay one?
Absolutely. And I do want to get into some positive vibes because he did want to accolade the market.
But hold on, real quick. One more thing, too, before we step all the way off of that. One more thing before we go all the way off. I just wanted to say, because it's also just one other thing. People, motherfuckers, just like, because like you said, it's a business at the end of the day. This is a business. And people are like, oh, he signed with the Eagles for just like, for $1 million more? Like, motherfucker, yeah, $1 million more. Yeah, absolutely. You can't tell that man how to, like, $1 million more. I'm going to leave $1 million more on the table to go to a team that's set up to win right now. Or
put him over the hump to beat the 3-peat. Absolutely. But I do want to get into
try to be figuring out shit. So I don't know. What's going on, Lou, by the way? Thanks for
absolutely. I do want to introduce Lou. Brother. Welcome to the show. We was going to get into
Takes podcast. Yo, you guys better tap in, hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up button for these guys, man. We might not always agree on how the Giants do things or who stays and who goes. But we all agree that this is our fucking team. The good, the bad, and the ugly. We Giants fans. Whether we winning,
Yep.
losing, whether we like certain players on the team, whether we like coaches that we have, or whatever the case may be, we all in with Big Blue, and that's what it is. Shout out to Jeff, man. Rest in peace. Been a while since we heard your voice, man. I was watching some of his shorts the other day. But on the topic of
Yeah, get into it. I was just about to
Joe
introduce you, but
Shane.
the mic is yours, bro. Anything you want to talk about, and then we'll move into a positive note. But we're gonna open up the mic for Big Blue Crew's official own Big Lou. So G Nation talking sports. The mic is yours. Any conversation that we had earlier that you want to touch on, feel free to touch on, and then we'll move into the Joe Shane accumulating the money, getting rid of Barkley to free up space for us to capitalize on the offensive line. We'll get into that conversation after Big Blue Lou talks his shit. Go ahead, Lou.
Everybody knows I'm a huge Saquon Barkley fan. I got 3 of the man's jerseys. If we remember, you can go back and look at the content that we were making about 2 years ago when everybody was talking about trading Barkley after he got hurt and this and that. And I was spazzing out talking about we better not fucking trade Barkley and this and that. Now, Barkley is the one who has repeatedly came out of his mouth and said he wanted to be a Giant for life. Everybody knows how he feels. He wants to be a Giant for life. He wants to be a Giant for life. They told you to go test the market, see what the market gives you as a value, and then come back and we'll try to work out a deal. Now, I wasn't there for the whole offseason. I didn't hear the conversations that we don't see on camera. All I can go off of is based on what I see on Hard Knocks and what Ian Rappaport and Dunleavy and these guys tweet, right? That just like most fans, we can only go off of what information is put out there, right? But based off of that Hard Knock episode, he was like, look, I don't want to disrespect him and give him a low ball offer. So I want him to go out there and see what the market values him as, and then come back and tell me what they told you your price is, and then we'll work on meeting that price. To me, that's you being respectful to the man. Look, I offered you 2 contracts. You didn't want them. You said you ain't trying to reset the market. I don't know where the middle ground is between us. So go out there and test the market because I don't want to insult you with a low ball offer, and then come back and we could try to figure this shit out.
I don't think he wanted him to begin with, to be honest.
No, I'm okay. I don't know what his thought process was. That could have been the flim flam to make it, look
And
like.
that's what it was, Lou. It was almost as he was so dismissive. And we love your point. We're gonna let you finish.
Now, I'm a fucking Barkley fan, right? I'm a Giants fan first.
That's facts.
You know what I'm saying? As much as I'm a Barkley's fan, I'm a Giants fan first. You
Team me
said
for a
you
player.
were born in the Bronx. You moved to Pennsylvania. You was raised in Pennsylvania. You went to Penn State. You know what I'm saying? So if you really wanted to be a Giant for life and the market told you that there was a price, you would have came back and said, look, this is what they saying. How close can you get to it? You didn't even do that, which tells me you wanted to get the fuck out of here. Pennsylvania's home anyway.
Oh, so it was this disloyalty.
Pennsylvania's home anyway. They have a better team on paper than we do. They have a better winning record than we do. You feel like you might have a shot at getting a ring there. So you said, you know what? Fuck the Giants for life. I'm going green. That's what I see. Now, is he wrong for that? He a grown man. He got a wife, kids. He got a family. Hey, get your money. But be a man about your shit. You know what I'm saying? That's my thing with people.
I care less about that shit.
Well,
To me,
I
care less about
I don't really. But see, I didn't really see it quite that way though, because I felt like he made that phone call. He's talking to his agent. His agent's telling him, he's telling him the number. You know what I mean? Right there, Joe Shane, you got your opportunity right now. I mean, are you going to do what you got? Step up, go up extra notch to get to hang on, secure Saquon Barkley. He said, "All right, now I'm out. I'm out." I mean,
Yeah, it's the lack of the attempt.
Well, the thing is this. This is what I heard. I'm not going to I'm not going to pay a $12 million running back. So when you already put that out there in episode 1, it does not matter what is happening. He's already telling Barkley when he made that conversation, It was nice knowing you. It was great having you around. Test the mark. He was talking to me as if he already knew Barkley was leaving because he
But
knew
he has
he
no
wasn't going to pay
say
him $12 million.
in how that footage get cuts up and what
I
goes in the
understand how.
episode.
You're not trying to fool me. I've been on the TV side. I get it.
So
All
fast,
I'm
Adam. Let
all,
me just say this, and Lou's absolutely right because you got to understand, like everybody lives different lifestyles. We're all brought up differently, so we have different childhood experiences. I will say, from Berkeley's side, Lou is absolutely right, and Lou should feel that way because there was almost a disrespect to the city. Yo, you motherfucker could have been in the Ring of Honor, but you go accept fucking a million Murph to win a championship.
No, it ain't
Motherfucker
even
was,
a million more.
but
It ain't even.
but
Listen, get your money. You a father. By
no, no, no,
all
no. I
means,
know.
get your bread.
No, I get
but
that. I get that.
You
But
why
are ops.
but
why
the
we're
reason,
You
angry
are
at him
ops.
for this.
yeah, no, I feel you. The reason why,
You
but the
went to
reason
the
why me,
fucking stinking seagulls,
no,
the
no,
pigeon, the lice infested
yeah, I feel
pigeons
you.
in the
I have
city.
to ask
I
you this
feel
The
you.
question.
dirty sons
I
The
have
of
to ask.
bitches
reason,
that eat horse
well,
shit.
fast, Adam.
Them
I'll let you talk. I'll let you
motherfuckers.
talk.
You,
I'll let you
you,
talk,
you,
Adam. I'm
you,
gonna bring it right back to you, Adam. But let me just say this:
I'm
the
sorry.
reason why me, Mac, and Adam feel that way, Lou, is because you're absolutely right, and you should feel
They
that
eat
way.
horse shit for Pete's sake. The fuck?
Absolutely,
I understand that.
absolutely, absolutely.
That's
But at the end of
not
the day, for Joe Shane not to even Joe Shane was almost came into it in episode 1 that he was over making an offer to not even make the offer. This guy told you that he wanted to be a giant for life. So how disrespectful to Saquon to not even make an offer? Like motherfucker, even if you come at me like, hey Saquon, we want to pay you 12.5. So Joe Shane made an offer
Done.
pay
6
the
months
money
ago.
back. That's the
Six
point. He didn't
months
want to
ago.
pay him. You guys are acting like Barkley's mad for him. He knows he didn't want to
No,
pay
no,
him.
no, no.
He didn't want to
No,
pay him.
Adam, but that's why I'm trying to get clarity
No,
on it, and that's why I'm gonna jump back to you because it's like that's the reason why because we understand where Lou's coming from, but for Joe Shane to not to even make an offer in off season, even
but
if he was to come in
you,
at 12 million, you know what I'm saying?
you,
And
you, you're seeing.
that's why it
I'm arguing.
shows.
Stop. I'm arguing the point of what Lou just said. Lou is arguing the point that fuck Barkley. He went to the Eagles. All that stuff. I'm saying I have no qualms about him leaving or going to the Eagles or doing whatever because in the
Absolutely,
long run, Joe Shane didn't want to sign his ass anyways.
that's
So
what that's basically what I'm saying.
to say that, oh, well, Barkley is an ass for leaving when you know someone's not even going to give you a contract and they're just doing a charade to pretend and fluff your ego. If he wanted him to be a giant,
Joe Shane basically businessman him.
no shit. He could have said, I'm giving you $14 million. I want to stay here. I want to overpay you like I overpaid the fucking quarterback who's done far less than you have ever done. You've had 2 Pro Bowl seasons. You're the face of our franchise. You're more popular than anybody on the fucking team. I'll give you an extra couple of dollars because of all the fucking bullshit that we have put you through. Here you go, Saquon. No. Instead, he said, I don't want to pay a $12 million running back. See you later, Barkley. I'm not going to match the offer. And he let him walk out the fucking door. And then he goes out
You know
and
what's
signs a
crazy?
27-year-old running back and overpays for a fucking guy who is half the caliber of fucking Saquon Barkley. And I'm mad that Saquon Barkley left, who went to a better fucking, he went to the fucking mansion and he left the fucking shack. He's
You
sitting
know
over
what's
there looking
crazy,
at
Adam?
fucking,
What you just said, I said when they gave DJ his money. When I said, yo, they paid that man because he's been behind the shittiest O line in football for 4 years, and they haven't gotten him no
yeah, but
receivers. They
DJ
never
sucks.
used his
That's the difference.
service. I said
DJ,
they paid him that money
Let
because
speak.
of all the bullshit they put him through in them 3 fucking coaching changes and offensive changes. And y'all said, oh, you're
but
making
DJ sucks.
excuses.
DJ sucks. Well, DJ, see, but see, here's the difference. With you can bring up DJ all you want in that stupid contract, and it's an irrelevant point because DJ is far less talented player. Stop. I'm
No,
happy.
no, 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 no. It's really no. I just want to explain something. We're not all wearing headphones.
Oh my
If
god.
you was all wearing headphones, it'll be different. But there's a lot of over talking each other. So let's just if someone's talking, let them finish and then let the other person rebuttal. Go right ahead, Adam.
My point is, and this is my point. You can't argue the two as the same because Barkley is far better player, and I would rather overpay for a guy I know that's good than overpay for a guy that's ass. Okay, they overpaid Daniel Jones because he's ass. If you did the same thing you did with Barkley and said go test the fucking market, DJ would not get a contract worth $40 million. I guarantee you that. Nobody is going to say, "Hey, let me
He
pay you
would
40."
not.
what the fuck they did with Barkley.
He would not.
And
We're gonna get to the positives in just a moment, guys. But this is
like,
fire, so I'm gonna let this be
we have
content.
the money to give a star caliber running back the
If he
money.
told Daniel Jones to test the market, he might have came back and got a discount on that motherfucker.
If
Like, for
they
real.
the market, he would have a great dose of reality that, bro, you probably should have stuck with the $40 million that you got, because guess what? You know, you're not going to get it here. The Giants overpaid badly. So don't sit here and say, well, I said the same thing. No, it's not the same thing. But Saquon Barkley is far better player than Daniel Jones ever was. And the fact that he left on the way.
DJ was better than Barkley. Come on now. Nobody said
Oh,
that shit.
you're trying to say because I said the O-line and all that. No.
It's funny that you said that, because when I said that they paid him for all the shit that they put him through,
That's the difference. But the difference is that DJ sucks. Barkley was still good, and that's the difference. That's what people don't see.
Okay, so let
Barkley
me ask you a question. That playoff run, when Barkley was hurt, who had them fourth quarter comebacks? Was it Barkley or DJ?
what fourth quarter comebacks? They went 3-6-1 down the stretch, bro.
Fourth quarter comeback victories. Those
They
were led
3-6-1.
by
And
who, number 8 or number
Who,
26?
who carried the team for the 6-2 record?
It wasn't 26.
The 6-2 record. Yeah, exactly. So you're arguing doesn't matter because Saquon Barkley is a far better player than DJ. So whatever you want to say, it's fine.
You want to talk over me, but you're not answering the question. I'm not getting emotional. I'm talking directly to you.
The question, I'm not giving DJ any credit for beating the Colts, for beating the Washington Commanders, and beating a shitty Minnesota defense. What are we talking about here?
Call them what you want. They're NFL teams, and all of them dudes came out of college and made it to the pros. So
all right, time out.
Wait,
Time out. Because
in them 6 fourth quarter comeback victories.
All right, time out. I never really mute people, but I'm gonna mute people now because I will. Hold on, Lou. Real fast. I'm gonna let you talk real fast. I just need to say this. I did not bring Lou on here to have a heated debate. It's not Lou's fault. It's not Adam's fault, and Lou's not here for that. Lou's here with his opinions.
Me and Adam just had a phone call yesterday. We good.
I understand that, but you guys are just getting heated up. That I wanted to serve you guys with some facts.
We're not.
I want to serve you.
Like we just.
I understand that, but I want to serve both of you guys with some facts. And when the host of the show says time out, you guys vote time out. All right.
You ain't no damn host.
I'm the host of the show, and I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna serve you guys both with this. After 3 years, how much turnovers, fumbles, and interceptions did Eli Manning have? Let me answer that for you guys. 49. After 3 years, how much turnovers and interceptions did Daniel Jones have? Let me answer that. 49. What's the difference between Eli Manning winning the Super Bowl in year 4 and Daniel Jones not winning the Super Bowl in year 4? Because Eli came into a league with a pre-made roster. I'm not trying to defend Daniel Jones on this, but I'm gonna pose the question to both of you guys.
Well, Adam, real quick before you move on from that.
I'm not answering this dumbass question.
Comeback victories.
Hold on, real quick.
Was it DJ? That was the question. This had nothing to do with Eli, Tom Coughlin.
No, that's what you guys gotta let me finish. That's why I was about to go there, but Mac has a Mac.
No, hold on, real quick.
Okay. I'm just gonna read myself and let you guys control it. I dismount myself from the host right now.
Because when you just said that in the first 3 years, Eli Manning 49 turnovers, whatever, and Daniel Jones first 3 years 49 turnovers. I'm gonna tell you the big difference in that period is Eli Manning played how many fucking games in those 3 years, and how many games did Daniel Jones play in those 3 years? That's a big fucking difference. Like, so I don't even know what we're talking about anymore at this point.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how we're trying to talk. We're trying to defend 2022 and some dumb argument about Saquon Barkley here because he wants to say about fourth quarter comebacks. Who the fuck cares about 2022? This is what I mean. This is what I'm talking about. Well, you brought up the same shit about Daniel. Give me a fucking break, bro. You know that Saquon Barkley is a far better player than Daniel Jones ever was, and he was overpaid. That's the argument. So then nobody cares about his fourth quarter comebacks. Who cares?
Because you're moving the goalpost, Adam.
I'm not moving the goalpost, bro. I'm not. I'm not. If you can't see it, I'm sorry. I'm not having a discussion with you, bro. You can't see it. I'm sorry. Who is the better player? Who is the better player? Who's the better player? Who's the better player? Who's the better
female
player?
right now, Adam.
Who is the better player?
Acting like a
Who's
female.
they get off my show?
Talk each other
I'm just
now.
saying, who's the better player?
Get off your show.
If you're gonna come on here and say I'm acting like a female, who's the better player?
Whoa.
Who is the better player?
First of all, you can't make me get off the show. First
Oh
off.
my God! Why?
This is what I'm saying, because I was talking to you logically. But when you start talking like you hot shit and you a thug, nigga, you from the suburbs. Stop that shit, bro.
Get off the show. Get him out of here. Get him out of here.
Fuck
Get
out of
outta
here, pussy nigga.
Get him out of here.
I'll leave
Hey,
myself.
pause,
You can't make me,
pause. That's
bitch,
what I was
nigga.
trying to
I'll see you in
avoid.
Jersey.
That's exactly what I was trying to avoid, and I apologize for both parties.
You're not going to come on here and tell me that it's the same fucking argument for the same player. It's not. I'm sorry. And you can yell at me all you want and talk and call me a girl or whatever. This is not how this is working. You're not going to come on the show, tell me, well, what about the fourth quarter comeback? That's 2022. We're talking about this year, about what that guy has done and signing him at the same time. I don't care what you want to say fourth quarter comeback, because I can tell you that he went to the Pro Bowl. He was rookie of the year, okay, twice out of the team. It's not even the same argument. And if he wants to say that I'm a pussy, whatever, fine. I don't give a shit. You want to yell at me? I don't give a damn. What are we talking about here? This is what I'm talking about.
I just wanted to control the show, and I wanted to be on a positive note because I knew that outcome was inevitable and that was soon to happen. And that's why I interrupted. And that's the main reason why I interrupted. You guys have really strong opinions on this team because you guys are such diehard fans.
But that's the point, though, is we're talking about Saquon Barkley being paid and what he's done for the franchise. Daniel Jones is not in the same category as him as a player. So you can't tell me just because I used the same argument, the guy overcame all that.
No. But at the end of the day, Adam, you can't tell G Nation how to feel because that's his opinion.
I'm not telling him how to feel. That's not. I didn't tell him how to feel that way.
I'm not saying that. But I'm saying I knew that was.
He asked me about an irrelevant point about fourth quarter comebacks in 2022. I don't give a shit about that.
Yeah. At the end
I asked him who let
himself. So let's move on.
This is what I asked. I also asked him a counter to that question. I said, who was the reason we got a 6-2 record? Who was the reason? It wasn't fucking Daniel Jones.
But
it was
at the end, I feel you. I agree with you, and trust me, we need to move on with the show. And I trust me, dog. Like I love all of you guys. What I'm just trying to say is, you guys gotta let me moderate, because when there's no fucking moderator, shit fucking happens. But yeah, motherfuckers don't want to fucking listen to Zenith. Okay, you motherfuckers better listen to Zenith. Okay, let's move on to my positive note. I know you have a lot of heat.
I'm going.
I know you got a lot of heat of anger, but at the end of the day, you was not in the wrong. I love you, Adam. You was not in the wrong. G Nation was not in the wrong. But I'm just saying, when shit like that happens, I'm trying to moderate the show. You guys got to understand, both of you motherfuckers, that we've been negative on the Giants for 1 hour and 7 minutes. Let's talk on a positive note with me and Matt. Adam, thank you back for joining us. For 1 hour and 7 minutes, we've been straight negative on the Giants.
We haven't been negative at all. We're talking about fucking Hard Knocks, bro.
I know, Adam. I know. I love you, Mac. I love you, G Nation. Thank you so much for joining the show. That was such amazing content, and I absolutely love it. That being said, let's talk about the offensive line. Let's move on. What's on the air tonight? Yeah, we just had a lot of shit in the news with the current vice president.
We're fighting whether or not Saquon Barkley is worth more money than Daniel Jones. That's the argument.
That being said, guys, what do you guys think about the improvements on the offensive line? Now, Barkley's not here, so Barkley's not going to benefit. But this new and improved offensive line. Look, many may say, such as myself, that will one injury away. Oh, go ahead, Mac. Mac is so excited to talk about that. He doesn't even let me finish. Go ahead,
because you're talking about the O-line, big guys.
Offensive line. Go ahead.
I like O-linemen, I like big guys. All right, but here we go. I'm not optimistic anymore about anything. You know what I mean? I can't. My optimism has ran all the way out with this football team. I can't do it anymore. I got to wait till September and see it on the field. Sure, looks nice. Looks good. Runyon, Illuminor, all
it'll
these
be
guys,
fine.
yeah. But in years past, the other moves, they look good too until they didn't. So until this looks good on the field, you know what I mean? Let's just. I'll wait and see. I'm no longer can be optimistic about this shit.
It's not. That's not the argument, bro.
Can't do it anymore. I can't invest. I can't invest it in that. I can't invest in that anymore. I can't. I just can't. I got to see it on the
Well,
field, and I got to see it to believe it with this football team. I can't. I can't just go by what the moves look like on paper in the offseason anymore because I've been doing that
well,
for the last couple of years, and I've been looking like a fucking asshole when it all comes down to it. So until this shit pans out on the field where it really matters and turns into some wins, W's. You know what I mean? We'll see. It, I
it
like
should
to
be
hope the
far
offensive
better. It
line is
should be far
improved. I
improved.
really like to hope that the O line is improved, but I want to wait and see it on the field, man.
It's I'm excited for the moves, but like Max said, we'll see what happens because I want to find out if the O line is really the issue or if it's the quarterback that was really the issue. Because there were times last year that a quarterback that came in named Tyrod Taylor had better results with an offensive line that was crappy, right? So now we're bringing in a better O line, hoping that it's going to improve our quarterback. So we'll see. Now, I'm going to say this out the gate. I think they're going to struggle a little bit in the first few weeks. Oh, you're negative at him. No, here's why. Because you got to get to know the guy next to you. Okay, we don't know if Evan Neal is good. He's coming off an injury. Now, I will say this. If he's on the bike at any time in camp and not on the first team, we're in trouble. Second thing is, if Neal struggles, are you going to move Illuminor? Because everyone says, oh, Illuminor is the next best tackle, right? But then who are you putting in for when you replace Illuminor? So you move Illuminor to the right to clog up one problem, but you don't have a depth, i.e. Joe Shane, going back to Hard Knocks, where we said, oh, I put a practice squad O-line in front of him on Miami. Well, guess what? That's your fault, Joe Shane, for being the fucking guy. And then on top of that, if you move Illuminor, who's coming in? Josh Judo hasn't done well. Marcus McKeith's not that great. You know, you don't have Glowinski. You don't want to move Runyon over there because, you know, even though he's played both sides, you're going to lose a spot. So that's what we need to find out is who the depth players are, who the swing tackle is, because at the end of the day, this O-line is going to struggle because they're playing good defenses. That's what happens. Okay. Minnesota's coming with 50% blitz rate. You got Washington is going to be a solid defense. And you play fucking Cleveland, Dallas, Pittsburgh, all those teams. So
Absolutely facts, guys, and that's what I'm really worried about. And I know you guys did a good talks on it, but like we play a lot of tough teams, and as much as
oh,
we
by the way, they're
accumulate
finesse
the
guys. They're
Avengers,
all pass blockers.
yeah, as much as we accumulate the Avengers, like what I'm just saying in that is point being, let me just break it down for you guys. Even if we had the best offensive lines in the league on this team, somehow for one reason or another, football is meant to be a contact sport. It's a physical sport, and people get hurt.
I'm not
Like
saying that they can't hold up. I'm just saying
no,
that
no,
it's
no.
gonna be tough.
That's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I'm not worried about this offensive line because I feel that this offensive line will be leagues above what we had on the field, and I love the fact that they put it together. And this is a positive for the New York Giants because that's the reason why it's a positive. Like we flipped the switch, right? But
Now, let me ask you this:
what I'm worried
You
about
want
with
something
this
positive?
offensive,
You know what? You want something positive? Well, I'm Mac the Giants fan about to spread some positivity.
go ahead,
Here's
man.
something
Go ahead.
positive. I think when it's all said and done, I think by season's end, if nothing else, I'm still not so sure how I feel about the offensive side of the football. But I think by season's
This
end,
defense
this
is gonna be
defense has
firing.
top 10 has top 10 defense potential, legit. I think it's going to be spearheaded by what's going to be a pretty ferocious pass rush for real. I do believe that. I think the pass rush will be legit. I think the Giants will get back to pinning their ears back and getting after the quarterback. I think you're going to get that great pressure from the outside from Burns, Thibodeau. I think Dexter up the middle is really underrated. I wouldn't say underrated because he's definitely ranked amongst the top in
who's
his
underrated? Dexter
positional
Lawrence?
group.
He said
I'm not
Tibbs.
saying he's
Everybody knows
underrated.
Dexter is the
What
second best
I'm
in the
just
league.
saying. No, what I'm saying is I'm talking about his pass rush ability though, his ability to get after the quarterback, so from the inside. So I believe that with that pass rush, Giants getting back to that, being able to get back. I think this defense has serious upside. It may start off a little bit shaky, as things getting their feet wet. But I think this defense will be legit. I think also you're going to get some really really solid linebacker play. Bobby Okereke, Michael McFadden. I think they're going to turn some heads as well. So
So
you know,
let me
how about the young D backs?
let me just say this: the only thing that I would say that I need to see out of Kayvon Thibodeau is 11 and a half sacks is good. I don't want to poo-poo that. Everyone seems to say he had a bad season. I don't think he had a bad season at all. I think he had a solid year, a very good year. The thing that he needs to do is have a little bit more motor, a little bit more, be a little bit more disruptive in games. He did a lot of his damage against bad quarterbacks and bad teams. We need to when we need to have him win some games because he's going to have matchups where he's going to go against the weaker tackle, and he's going to need to win some of those matchups against the Browns. Right, they're going to be a heavy run team. So my only concern is stopping them. I could care less about them rushing the passer because they can do that and they're going to probably do that well. But it's running the football that matters to me. I'm worried also about Ryan Anderson and whoever they put on the other side. I mean, this is where I question the Leo Williams trade now. Not saying that it was a bad deal. It's like if you got rid of him to move on, right? Leo Williams would be perfect for this defense right now in this system because he's that type of defensive end / D tackle that can stand up and rush and get the run. I think you don't have that guy on here right now. Ryan Anderson, and they're trying to say Boogie Basham. Like, give me a break. That guy the Boogie Basham is not really that good. The other thing I'm concerned about is Isaiah Simmons being on the field. When you have a guy like that small on the field as your linebacker, yes, he flies around. But if you watch Isaiah Simmons last year, he gets blocked easily when it comes to the run game. When it comes to downhill, rushing the passer, being in passing lanes, excellent player. But when it comes to you having him as a runner, as your big set linebacker, that's what concerns me.
Alrighty, I love that. I will say this though, like,
well, I know that I'm not going to pay them. I'm just saying he would have been perfect for this defense if he was here. I'm not saying to pay him. All I'm saying is he's the caliber of player that is needed in this type of defense that they're going to try to run with Shane Bowen. Because if you remember, they had Jeffrey Simmons, and then they had who's the other guy? God, I forget what his name is on that offensive line, but he was also / D tackle as well on there. Oh my God, what's his name? It's on the tip of my tongue. I can't remember it. It's a D tackle. I got to look up the Titans defense now.
Was it Landry? Was it Landry?
No.
No.
He's still there now. I think he was a D tackle.
So I haven't looked at the Titans until I looked at the wide receiver corps. That's pretty dope. I'm sorry, but I haven't looked at the Titans, and that name is totally going over my head.
Right there.
Is it
Jordan
Riley? Danico Autry. That's who it was. Danico Autry. So Danico Autry has similar traits to like Leonard Williams, and that's why I think if you had Leonard, you're not going to bring Leonard Williams back. Obviously, you can't revision the history, but it's like that's the type of player you would have needed in this defense, which I thought would have been excellent.
Absolutely, I will say this though, like
Jordan Riley is a different player.
That's what I wanted to kind of say earlier. It's like to flip the switch. Like, yeah, okay, we didn't play Berkeley, but at least let's look at some positives. Some positives is Joe Shane didn't go spend stupid money on a player that really didn't have no purpose. He brought in some useful offensive linemen. You guys heard the boys earlier explain what they liked about certain offensive linemen, and that's what's up. I feel that this offense will move. What's up, Tommy? Thank you for joining us. Health and wealth to everybody watching, everybody here, to our future president of the United States, and everybody in the world. You know what I'm saying? And that being said, I just kind of feel like I understand like the positivity in this team. And when I look at things, I tend to look at things in an open mind. I look at things one way, and I look at things on the other way. And some people may not like that. Some people may like, hey, you can't live your life in the middle. That's not fair. But I do kind of live my life in the middle in a point of football, because as much as I hate Daniel Jones, and I don't mean to hate him, I just mean to hate him because of the lack of production and how the NFL is just babying the guy. But at the end of the day, I do see the positives in this team, and I do understand why fans would want this team and can see this team reaching, going over the hump. There's not that much proven teams in the NFC that can really prove themselves for championships. As much as I want to scream Tampa Bay, the Falcons, as much as I want to scream the Saints, even the Bears, the Giants, some fans may feel still in the mix. They may look at it as a positive side and see like, hey guys, we may have lost Barkley, but we gained a running back that can produce in the passing game, and we had gained receiver like Malik Neighbors that is a fucking dog that is gonna get his. You know what I'm saying? And they may look at this defense and then see a team with what we just got done talking about, a pass rusher that is deservingly so of $28+ million a year in Brian Burns, in the second best defensive lineman in the league, in interior DT, outside of maybe Chris Jones, in Sexy Dexy. They may see someone like Kayvon, a rising prospect, that has developed and hopefully can develop into a top tier edge rusher. They may see someone like Bobby that can produce in the middle linebacker spot. They may see someone like Isaiah Simmons, the fastest linebacker when it comes to the combine, maybe underwear Olympics, fastest in the league. Now, who plays the fastest? I would say Greenlaw from San Francisco. But who ran the fastest? Isaiah Simmons. They may see our young cornerbacks and be like, oh, that's kind of sketch. Maybe they have not watched that much Kentucky games this year. Maybe they not have seen the ability of Tyler Nubin, our new safety. Maybe they don't love Banks. But what I'm saying in all of this is, as much as we and us, when I say we, I'm talking about the three hosts. As much as we look at Daniel Jones and we see the outcome, we look at the team and we see the outcome. We look at these other teams, I'm like, holy shit, like, y'all motherfuckers better draft Kyle Pitts because he's about to have a year because Kirk Cousins is showing him the football. And a lot of motherfuckers are sleeping on the Saints because you may look at the offense and be like, ew. And then you may look at the defense and be like, what? But a lot of motherfuckers come on. I'm not talking about anybody who came on tonight. A lot of motherfuckers don't understand the passion that we have in this team. And this is not directed at anybody who's been on tonight or anybody that may disagree with us. This is directed of true diehard Giants fans that really is in pain because the media and the Giants has been lying basically to us for the last basically 10 years. Like, to be honest with you, I mean, like, I understand there's teams that has not win a title that for, but at the end of the day, I know we got more championships with a lot of other teams, but it's we're not supposed to be in this place. So that's where the disruption comes from, So I just hope that we can unite as Giants fans, because that's what happens with a shitty organization.
Well, what happens?
Go ahead, continue, Adam.
I need this. I don't want to hear. Go ahead.
Matt, go to.
Go ahead, Matt.
My man, look, Joe. I love you, bro. I do. I truly do, man. But yeah, I can say it. Daniel Jones is trash. He's ass. I gave that man every chance I could give him. He's ass. He's not the answer. The O-line has been terrible. I get it, and I know where everybody's going with that. But you know what? At this point, it's still more that I feel like he should have been able to show us. And I'm not going to keep making this O-line as an excuse. I've said it before, and I say it again. Behind that same shitty O-line, we got more production from our backup quarterback and our third string undrafted rookie free agent who lives home with his mama. We got more production from those guys behind that same shitty O-line than we got from Daniel Jones. I'm sorry. I don't know why nobody seems to want to realize that. I'm not saying those guys are necessarily great and all-world and superstars, but they were more productive behind that same bad O-line. Same
Right.
bad O-line that Daniel Jones stood behind as well.
And that was my
I'm
argument
sorry.
that I was making about Saquon Barkley. That when the argument came up, well, I use the same argument for Daniel Jones. Yeah, but Barkley didn't make excuses. We didn't make excuses for Barkley. He still produced. That's the difference. That's why you pay a guy like that.
That defines a Hall of Fame player.
That's all I'm saying. It's like when you want to bring up an argument and say, well, I've had that same argument for Daniel and he's done this and he's done that. I can give you a list of things that Barkley has done that are far better and exceeded it. The reason they didn't want to pay him is they didn't want to pay him. And you come on. I mean, I'm not mad at Barkley for leaving. You can't be. I mean, I've learned that players are going to do what players are going to do. It's all about the money, and you can't be mad when they want to leave. You just have to hope that you find a better replacement for them. And as for this team and the atmosphere, I'm not necessarily negative. I want you to prove it to me. Every year they have not proven it to me. So I'm not going to get on the band. You can say 11-6, 12-5, whatever you want to do. I'm not going to tell you what your record is. I'm going to say what I think they're going to do is 7 wins. That's what I think they're going to do. That's not a bad to me. That's not a good record. That's a record that unfortunately might keep Daniel Jones around. But like Mac was saying, I think there's a short leash, and I do believe that if this shit does go south, and let's say hypothetically speaking, let's say they win the first 2 games, right, and then they struggle because the next 10 teams they play, the next 10 games they play against playoff caliber teams, right, and they're still trying because we forget there's a lot of moving parts in this team. We get rid of Barkley, who, by the way, knows the offense. So does Devin Singletary, but he's played. He's gotten a feel for Daniel and things like that, right? You've got, other guys who have kind of won. People aren't talking about the effect of Darren Waller, right? Now, people talk about how badly Darren Waller was, but his presence on the field alone allows you to do more. So for me, all I'm trying to say is that the reason why I think a lot of fans argue with you is because the ones that want to be optimistic want you to be optimistic about everything. And I am optimistic about certain parts of the team, but there are certain players I don't necessarily have to like or follow. And I understand with said players, we may not make the run that we think we are because their ceiling is only so much. If you go and watch, like I said, the receiver documentary, go watch Devontae Adams because
Tommy will get to you.
In that documentary, you're seeing the frustration of a superstar athlete not get the ball. Now, yes, part of it was Josh Allen, but part of it was the quarterback play that it was talking. Because it doesn't matter if you have a great receiver. If you don't have a good quarterback to navigate the time to throw it, you're not going to do it, right? There was a stark difference between him and Aiden O'Connell because Aiden went to Devontae Adams and Jimmy Garoppolo was sitting there dinking and dunking, so we'll see. I don't know why we're still talking about being Daniel Jones being good or not.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm just gonna move on with this one real fast, Adam, and I'm gonna let you finish in a second. But I gotta say this real fast. Tommy, you has automatically been a day one supporter. You're a day one motherfucker, and we love you, Tommy. And we need people like you, Tommy, because you literally help our agenda to expose Daniel Jones as a quarterback we all want to support. That being said, that Daniel Jones has been the quarterback for how long now? What I would say 6 years, right? Now, some would say that Daniel Jones hasn't got the opportunity, but guess what? There's other quarterbacks that it don't matter on where you get drafted. The NFL is a horde sport. That's the reason why there's under 400 people in the Hall of Fame with over thousands that played the game. That being said, we all want to worship Daniel Jones like he's the one, like he never got the fine opportunity that Daniel Jones has got. Let me remind you, there's quarterbacks in this league called Josh Rosen that never really got, I would say, a fair chance. Everybody wants to blame the coaching, but at the end of the day, when you really look at it, the coaching has been there. You have a coach in that just basically appeared in the NFC Championship game with Pat Shermer. We had a coach that basically played with Hall of Famer Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay. That was actually a good offensive coordinator before he came here. Before he came here. Let me say that one more time. Before he came here. And then thirdly, we had a coach, everybody wants to call him the clapper, but a dysfunctional organization. Look at the organization right now. Look at the Dallas Cowboys. They didn't bring in anybody. That means the Dallas Cowboys is trying to tell McCourtney that they're trying to get rid of, because I believe that I just use these two names for the Giants, but I'm going to use it again for the Cowboys that just brought in what was his name? Mike McDaniels from Green Bay. And then let me just say this. We're not going to bring in anybody. What, Dak? CeeDee Lamb's wants 35 or wants 36. So Dak, you go show me why you're worth $60 million. McCourtney, you go show me why. Now everybody wants to diss Jerry Jones, but he comes from oil money. The motherfucker knows business.
Let me get this.
So hold on, Adam. I'm gonna finish this. I'm gonna land this fucking plane. So go out and test the market, Dak. Go out and test the market. Because we have Mike Vrabel on the sideline. We have Bill Belichick on the sideline. That will replace you in a fucking heartbeat. Okay? And I believe Adam had something to say, and then I'll continue. Because I will pull up Daniel Jones' stats.
Miz might be mad at me for this one. I do not want any parts of Bill Belichick. No parts at all. I want my. I just don't want to. I don't want to go there.
Well,
that's just how I feel about it.
We don't have a 4-12 season.
Hold on. When you get drafted at 6, you have the expectation to do something. Okay, to do something. We're depending on this quarterback, the one of the best running backs in the league. Injury or not, he had Saquon Barkley. Okay, yo, you think Joe Burrow complained about the offensive line? Nobody want to bring up the receivers, but he still operated the pocket. Okay, so you tell me, is this record? It's not even record. Is this ascending? Like, this guy was drafted at 6 to do something. Is this really ascending? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, and I'm not trying to knock the kid, but this is not ascending. This is complete backwards of ascending.
Well, the argument should be, at what point do we stop blaming and making excuses and start saying, why can't he make plays? Because to me, the argument's not about whether or not the O-line is trash. Because like Max said, guys played behind the O-line. You mentioned Joe Burrow. He made plays. Will the O-line come back and affect things like it did Joe Burrow in the Super Bowl? Absolutely. When you play a Hall of Fame defensive tackle, that's what's going to happen to you when you have a shitty O-line. But don't say that people haven't won games or haven't overcome things because O-line. Because you're not making it
I'm not attacking you. I'm not even attacking Tommy because Tommy's a real fan. But what I'm saying is we can't blame the coaches. We can't blame who he had as coaches, because if we start blaming who he has as coaches and we start blaming the O-line, we start blaming the receivers, and now what? If he doesn't do good this year, what? We're gonna blame he doesn't have a running back, Adam? He doesn't have Barkley, Adam? What are we gonna complain that Daniel Jones doesn't succeed this year? The kid needs to go play in the XFL or as a certified backup.
Let me ask you
this
question. Last year, did he play good in the games that he was in? That's a serious question. Well, I'll answer it since no one is. No.
One more time, I was trying to figure out who was talking, but it was really a YouTube video in the background. What did you ask?
I said, Daniel Jones, was he good in the games that he played last year?
Oh, but when you talk about 6 games, you want to 6 games on him?
The game that he started,
he was great in the second half of Arizona. He was sensational. Second half against Arizona,
right?
Absolutely. What is Arizona, Matt? What is Arizona? Who the fuck is the coach? And let me just answer Tommy's question real fast because I don't want to overtalk Adam. But what I will say this, Tommy, like I said, you're a diehard. I absolutely agree that Bobby Johnson was the problem. I believe this new offensive lineman coach, you can go back and you can rewind the episodes. I absolutely believe in coaching plays a big part in the industry, but we have to stop making excuses for the guy. So when the guy, I can bet this, I will put $1,000 that Daniel Jones doesn't play and doesn't complete all 17 games this season. $1,000. Not to you, Tommy, but just to the universe. Because I guarantee you, the universe will give me $1,000 because Daniel Jones is injury prone and he's not going to complete 17 games.
Well,
My problem with Daniel Jones is he doesn't read the defense as fast as you should at an NFL level. He doesn't sense pressure like a quarterback should at an NFL level. A lot of people want to be cup drivers. A lot of people want to drive in the Cup Series in NASCAR, but it's okay if you're an affinity driver. Daniel Jones is an affinity driver. He's not meant to be in the Cup Series. Enough said. End the story. Let's move on. Continue, Adam.
Well, all I was saying is, did he play well in those games? Because if the answer is out of one game where the team was Arizona was ass, the answer is no. And my point is that I can't blame him. I can't blame the offensive line for him missing Darren Waller wide open across the field. I can't blame the offensive line for him throwing a pick six in Seattle. I can't blame him for the O-line. I can't blame the O-line for him throwing an interception again against Seattle. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't blame him for the O-line for him throwing a shitty ball to Saquon Barkley that popped up in the air. You know what I'm saying? Those are the type of things. And then in 2022, in the comeback season everyone talks about, the game against the Cowboys, I can't blame the O-line for him making a shitty pass to Saquon Barkley that could have changed the dynamic of the game when Barkley had wide open runs, right? Those are the plays that I'm talking about. I understand what everyone says about when they're like the O-line. Yeah, that is great. But it's usually when you're talking about Daniel Jones, comparing him to other quarterbacks, the first thing we talk about with other quarterbacks is, well, Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb. The first thing we talk about with Daniel Jones is, well, his offensive line stinks. It's like, well, does he stink?
I don't mean a timeout because you have such a heated fire point right now. But can we start to separate the running ability from the passing ability, please? Continue, Adam.
Well, I mean, my only what I'm trying to get at and what people don't understand and they get heated about, and that's why the argument took place today, is because people defend the guy as if he's done something spectacular. He's played average and sometimes below average, and the things that you've mentioned have been some of his shortcomings. But when he's in the game and he is a liability, and you're still trying to defend that, like that pick six, was that against him? No. He clearly got spooked by whatever and threw a shitty pass to Paris Campbell that got picked off and ran back for six. No one's sitting there saying, well, that's the O-line. If you're sitting there saying that's the O-line, because of that game, you're not watching the whole game. What it does is it makes you short-sighted, because no matter what he does wrong, you're going to say, well, the O-line, the O-line, the O-line. And so when you are trying to break down the game of football and you're trying to articulate and try to make your point, you have to understand what you're looking at. You can't just gloss over the fact that the O-line is bad when, like I said before, Mac mentioned that the two quarterbacks below him played in a worse situation of O-line and the offense looked functional. But when Daniel came in, the offense couldn't move the ball up and down the field. Sans one game against Arizona. So my issue is, and this is part of the reason why I'm kind of down on this team, is when we are going to have meaningful defensive football games, not luck of the draw comebacks against teams that were lucky. They have 3 years of tape on us. Brian Daboll, everyone says, is this great play caller. Well, guess what? He's made his own fair share of mistakes. Okay, and we can talk about this dysfunction in the coaching staff, but all we want. But all I'm saying is, when I judge Daniel Jones, hatred aside, I judge him on the plays that are there to be made, not the plays that could have been made. And when you look around the league, and I watch guys like Mahomes, Burrow, Herbert, even guys like Geno Smith manipulate the pocket when guys leak out and still make plays, and I have my quarterback standing there like a statue, not doing anything, and then the next thing in the paper and all the podcasts are, whoa.
Wait, Daniel Jones pocket awareness? You're crazy, Adam.
Well, if Evan Neal just made a block, well, if fucking Daniel Jones steps up in the pocket, he doesn't get fucking sacked. You see what I'm saying? These are the type of things we need to start to articulate and differentiate than just saying, well, the O-line sucks, let's give him an O-line. I've seen enough in his game to understand that this isn't the guy, based on the play that I've seen and the analytics and the knowledge I've taken from the entire learning the NFL. I just wanted to mention that.
Enough said. I love that point, Adam. And I'm gonna end the show by me saying this. I'm gonna hand it over to Mac to end the show. Tommy, you made a lot of great points, and whoever was in the comments tonight was absolutely amazing. Lou, I'm sorry that ended the way it did tonight, and I know you and Adam is close, and you guys will handle that off stream. We don't need to get into that. What I will say this is, I'm a Giants fan, and I'm always going to be a Giants fan. And this team can go 0-16, and I'm still going to put on this hat, and I'm still going to ride for this team because I fucking love this team, okay? I will say this. This team is up against some hard motherfuckers this season, okay? The schedule this season is not as easy as you want to make it out to be, okay? And when teams, I explained how to beat the Giants halfway through the show. You go and rewind the episode. I'll explain exactly how to beat this team, okay? I love this team. I'm going to ride with this team. Thank God that Malik Neighbors is only 20 years old, because by 22, he'll have a new quarterback, and I claim it, and it's going to happen.
Or in this bad case, he'll be ran out of town.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's almost so obvious on what's going on that it's so pathetic that we still have the media trying to feed us things and the Hard Knocks trying to feed us things, but we know what's going on. This team is pathetic. And okay, yeah, we're gonna go win 9 games. They're still not gonna make it to the playoffs because there's a lot of competitive teams. They're not gonna tell you that. Of course, they're not gonna tell you that. They're gonna say the AFC is the competitive side, but motherfucker, there's a lot of motherfuckers in the NFC that's gonna want to compete. Everybody's gonna talk about San Francisco. Everybody's gonna talk about the Lions. Everybody's gonna talk about the Cowboys, and everybody's gonna talk about the Eagles. Okay. But there's a lot of other motherfuckers that's aiming to take the other spots. Okay, I love this team. I'm gonna rock by this team. I hope we make the fucking Super Bowl.
Vegas has us a 6.5.
It's not gonna happen. Quote me on this. I text Logan Knapp the other day. Logan, the Giants fans, he doesn't make videos no more. He makes videos in the off season, in the season, but not in the off season. And I said it would be the NFL right to script. Let me quote. It would be the NFL right to script the Giants in the Super Bowl this year for 100th year anniversary. Let's go have fun. Let's see the Giants versus the Chiefs. Guess what? Reality check. I snap back to reality, and shit ain't gonna happen. Okay. So that being said, the Bears with Caleb Williams has a better shot of appearing in the Super Bowl than us. I know Adam's laughing. I know Adam wants something to say too. So I'm gonna pass the mic over to Adam. I'm gonna say we love the Giants. I don't care if this team goes 0-16. I'm gonna ride with this Giants 0-17. Might be 0-19 in a couple of years with how much fucking games they're trying to produce. That being said, I fucking love this team. So don't ever take the comments you hear on this show to us being negative and us being Debbie Downers and us not liking this team. We're honestly just being realistic fans that suffered for so fucking long. Before I pass the mic over to Adam, I'm gonna thank Lou again for coming on the show. Miz, absolutely, we're gonna have you on the show here soon. Absolutely, we want you on the show. And I'm gonna pass the mic over to Adam, and please pass the mic over to Mac, because we all know that Mac ends shows the best. So go right ahead, Adam.
Well, I just want to say, like, I don't have Super Bowl aspirations for this team. I'm over this team really in terms of being excited. I feel like after watching Hard Knocks, it's not done anything to show me that this team is competent. It's like the front office. Like, it's funny because Joe Shane can make all these moves without asking Mara, but then it's Barkley and Jones. Yes, they call the big boy upstairs and make sure it's okay, and then talk basically Mara off a ledge on why he doesn't want a good running back at a position. Again, I care less about Barkley. That's not the argument. The argument is if you're trying to keep a good team around, why wouldn't you want to keep a good player around? But again, I'm hoping he knows what he's doing, because right now, Hard Knocks, I'm not trying to poo-poo him, but he's looked like he's putting his foot in his mouth a lot. And like you said, there's a disconnect here with this quarterback and team. Mac brought it up. If you didn't see it, Mac has a nugget. I'm sure he'll, when I pass it back to him in a minute, I'm sure he'll re-go over that nugget. But at the end of the day, we're all going to sit through and slog through 17. If the Giants surprise us, great. If not, you already know where I stand with the quarterback. You already know how I feel about this team, and away we go.
Well said.
Well, well, sure, I wouldn't mind sharing it one more time. I mean, just once again, like go back episode 3 of Hard Knocks. Joe Shane walks in the room and says, "Have we seen enough tape on Malik? On Jaden Daniels, the trade that you think he's worth trading up for?" Brian Dable, without hesitation, Brian Dable said, "I would." So that's just right there is letting you know that the situation we got going on with this football team right now, it's not a good one. That's not a good one. I mean, clearly, Brian Dable know that this team needs to upgrade at the quarterback position. Clearly, he understands that as the head coach of this football team. But look, what do we all know, man? I mean, look, at the end of the day, look, forget about it. It is what it is. Daniel Jones is the quarterback for the New York Giants once again going to the 2024 season. Football is upon us. I can smell it in the air. Training camp starting on Wednesday. Let's go. Let's do it. But I'm just a 47-year-old New York Giant fan that is absolutely sick and tired of watching this team be absolutely shitty. Terrible. The laughing stock of the league. That's not the New York Giants I grew up watching. I seen some bad years, some rough years, but I ain't never seen nothing that stinks the way this team has stunk for the past, we're talking like 10 years now. This is not acceptable to me as a fan.
I'm not trying to age you, Mac, but you see these fucking Super Bowls? That's not the team that Mac grew up watching. Not the team that Mac grew up watching.
Not at all.
Not these teams. Not these teams.
Yeah, I don't. So I just need to see better. September, I hope I get better. But we're going to find out. We'll see, man. But once again, thank you all for tuning in to another edition of the Premium Takes Podcast. I'm Mac the Giants fan. That's Zion Zenith. And that's Adam Costas. We'll be back next Friday night, hopefully, God willing. Throw them fours up for our guy, NYG, Jeff E.T., man. Throw them fours up for Jeff, man. We love y'all, man. We'll be back next Friday night. Pass!